Hey guys, Sublord here, back in with another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at an oldie-ish, but a goodie-ish, depending on who you ask. At least if you're asking me, I think it's a goodie. But today we'll be taking a look at the DC Multiverse Flash movie Michael Keaton Batman, brought to us by the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys. That's right! This figure's pretty old, isn't it? Well, that's what happens when you run out of new stuff to review, folks. You gotta tap into the reserve, the backlog. Older figures that, well, may not be as relevant or even available anymore. And this guy, he was never really available, was he? I mean, really. He sold out during the pre-order, was kind of hard to find in store, but hey, he was only $20. A lot of the Michael Keaton figures we get now are packed with Batmobiles, other Batmans, or our collector edition figures, which aren't exactly worth it if you ask me, but hey, to each their own. They also happen to look more like Batman 89, which is what everyone wants, and while I am not exactly against Batman 89, I think Michael Keaton did a fine job. It's not the end-all be-all Batman thing for me. I know it is for a lot of people, but for me, Batman animated series is peak Batman as far as acting, writing, characters, character development, story, music. Just, it was a dang near perfect series. Dang near. Like 99.98%, because nothing's perfect, right? But as a child, it's a little bit of story time. I used to have a 12-inch Michael Keaton Batman, and my doofus dad brought it to the reuse center and kind of ticked off little Overlord back then, but it is what it is, I'm afraid. He also brought my freaking Peter Jackson King Kong movie King Kong that made sound and walked on his knuckles to that same reuse center. I hope whatever kid got that was really happy with it, little bastard. So, with that being said, before we get too far ahead of ourselves with broken dreams, why don't we take a look-see at all Michael Keaton has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with the collectible trading card. The bio on the back actually describes the movie. I'm surprised it's not just Batman's parents were shot, Bruce Wayne became Batman, he has a butler named Alfred, and a sidekick named Robin. I'm leaving that in there. I don't care. That said, in terms of actual useful accessories, he's got a pair of grip hands, possibly to grip said sidecock. But one of them is a trigger finger, one of them is just a standard C grip. That is because he also comes with his itty bitty back grapple. This thing is like pitiful compared to some of the back grapples we've gotten. And then he comes with a batarang bigger than the back grapple. Like, it is literally longer. Is that supposed to be that way? Probably not. That said, if you're wondering, the only other figure I bought from this Flash movie is this Dark Flash who looks like he's infected with the bubonic plague. That's probably why he's got all those spikes sticking out everywhere. But at any rate, we'll look at him tomorrow. And I'm saying tomorrow because I know this isn't going to go up on a Tuesday. But if it does, I'll eat my words somehow. That said, he's got the hockey puck display stand we're using with all McFarlane Toys releases, and a nice t-shirt quality cloth cape instead of that taffeta crap we're used to seeing with Batman figures nowadays. And he also has the long ears. These are pretty long too. I didn't think Michael Keaton's ears were that long on the cowl, but they're pretty long here. They could probably warrant some straightening out with a hairdryer, but I didn't bother because this guy's going back into storage and they're probably going to get warped again if I unwarp them, possibly more. So we're just going to leave that alone. I will say the bat symbol on mine, well, at least I thought it was kind of crooked. Maybe it is. Feels like it's glued in a little crooked. I could stick my nail under this and pop it off, but I'm not going to do that. It's just a little off. It's not that big a deal. Yeah, he's got, you know, elements of 89 and returns in the suit. And again, only costs $20. Most Batman comic book figures don't come with two fists, let alone two fists and two grip hands. So that in and of itself should be worth noting. But as far as articulation on this guy goes, his head will rotate side to side. He will look up. I thought more than that. I want to give that a push. There we go. I don't push too hard. Right. He can look up. He's got to get it past that hump on his neck. And then he can look down. He can tilt pretty well. So you should have no problems getting him in the Batmobile with a gray cockpit. Can't believe everyone was flipping out over that. His shoulder will go out about that far. Yeah, the pauldron's not really working with me here. It's pretty stiff, so that is what it is. He'll rotate all the way around. He's got that beautiful butterfly. You get pretty decent range out of that. Bicep swivel works just fine. Double elbow works just fine. A little gappy, to be honest. Not gonna lie. Ball hinge wrists. That will rotate. Hinge and swivel. Diaphragm joint that will lean not really back. It leans more forward than it does back, ironically. But you can get the backwards lean in the waist. So that's a plus. And it's nice and solid. It's not loose. You can tilt this way and that way. And of course, you already know the waist can also turn and tilt in all kinds of ways. Hips will kick out about this far. Back down, forward and back. Thigh cut, non-existent on both sides. You don't get no thigh cut on this guy. Double knee works fine. Not too gappy. It's a little gappy, but not too gappy. And he does have the ball hinge foot that will rotate, hinge, and pivot, as well as toe joints that are decent on both sides. So a pretty solid figure, all things considered. But you know, it's not the 89 suit, it's the Flash movie suit. But for me, those 89 figures didn't do much for me. I don't have space for the Batmobile, otherwise I might have got the one with the Batmobile. I didn't need a bunch of Batmans, especially that crap from The Batman. What the heck was that? And I mean the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, not the super awesome, kind of edgy for the first season, then went down the rails 2004 animated series that was on the WB, which, by the way, totally buys 6-inch fully articulated scale figures of that. Literally anyone who cares about that show. The best Bane ever. I will die by that sword. I don't care. But, hey, at least I didn't say it was Batman and Robin, right? But at any rate, solid figure. I like it. It was one of the last figures I got before my mom, the Mama Overlord, passed away in 2023, was it? Some time ago now. Almost 2 years, if you can believe that. But at any rate, before we wrap this up, why don't we bring in our two regulars, the Mythic Legions, Brother Mandibilith, and the infamous Incur 11 Spawn, who is probably not towering over this Michael Keaton, per se. They're almost the same height. This is a very good Batman to put with Spawn, like a more realistic suit, if you ask me. Much better than that Christian Bale garbage. But with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and if you're looking for something to hold you over until the inevitable Batman Returns figure comes out, or are just looking for some representation of good old Michael Keaton Batman for your McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse display, then I think this figure from the Flash movie is good enough. Is it perfect? No, it is not the same suit as Batman 89 or Returns, but it does have hints of those suits within it to do enough for yours truly, to get the point across, we'll say. And it was also the cheapest Michael Keaton Batman figure offered by McFarlane Toys, if I'm not mistaken, because when he came out, I think he was only 20 bucks. The other ones have either been packaged with other Batman figures, Batmobiles, or clocked in at the collector's edition price point at $30. And if I'm being honest, the Batman 89 collector's edition figure wasn't very good, and I decided to pass on it. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.